Here right now.
She is on, it says she's on the call.
Hi, Kat, if you can hear us.
That's what I'm not sure of. I think she might have gone to make a coffee or she's muted.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to try and find her number and give her a quick call just in case she's not aware that we are talking and yeah, something is not quite right. But for the sake of you being here on the call, I might as well catch you up in terms of what's happened since you were on the last call.
Excellent.
So I managed to open a bank account with Southwest Capital Bank. They were recommended by Joni Griffins, who's helping us with the marketing and PR. And out of that meeting, the manager says, how are you doing for sponsors? And I hadn't even thought of approaching them for sponsorship. So they've given me the forms. They would love to see how they can sponsor us.
Excellent.
So that was Southwest Capital Bank. And the, what are they called? Justice and Peace Office have agreed to give us fiscal sponsorship. Until we register the nonprofit, they can give people tax receipts.
Okay,
On our behalf. So I just have to go through the process of applying. They have a board meeting. But Samia, one of the ladies who is on our committee, is the director of the Peace and Justice Office. So she says, look, just get it back to me as soon as you can. Then at least people who want to sponsor and get some tax concessions, we can now, issue receipts for tax purposes.
Excellent.
And then I had a meeting with Charles Ashley, runs Cultivating Coders. And Cultivating Coders is that program that I told you where they're training people on the reservations to code.
Yes.
When they finish the 10-week boot camp, they're given the laptop.
Oh, wonderful.
So I went to their graduation ceremony the other day and found that there was a lady who was attending. Her name is Vanessa Ronhorn, and she's from the reservations. She's got a women's group. She's been trying to hold a forum, and it's been challenging for her to just coordinate and get things done and get sponsorship. And so I said to her, look, why don't we just collaborate and make it a joint venture so we can reach more women, especially the women on the reservation. So I'm hoping to have a meeting with her this week and see how we could collaborate with them and get a few more women involved.
Excellent.
Let me see. What other meetings did I have last week? Last week was busy, Cynthia. It was chock-a-block. I just went from meeting to meeting, met some really, really interesting people. I also attended a CLN Kids is a nonprofit that looks after women and children. They have like a subsidized daycare center. I think they help single moms with housing, accommodation. They kind of fish women out of domestic abuse type situations. And the CEO is an amazing woman. We had so much in common. She spent some time in South Africa.
Oh, wow.
So we kind of hit it off on the South African note. She even got the word Ubuntu tattooed on her wrist.
Oh, wow.
I know. Last week was really beautifully strange. So I'm going to be talking to her and trying to see from that organization how many speakers they could identify who could participate and reach out on our behalf. but also to see if there is a way that we could collaborate with them. They already have women who have gone through very traumatic situations and who have actually come back to their organization and are now helping other women.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my strategies now, and I think just to plant the seed in everybody's minds, is for us to reach out to other networks.
Right.
To other existing groups and see if they can help us, because we now have 7 weeks and we need to aggressively start marketing and promoting this.
And I wanted to talk to you about connecting with Joni Griffin, who is the social media strategy. I thought, since I'm kind of remote and don't know people in this part of the country like I do in DC, that I could work with her and help spread the word and really help create impact through what we're doing. So I'd like to kind of connect up with her.
Okay, so I'll do a introduction, an email intro, and then you can follow up.
Perfect.
Joni can never make these meetings because she jogs. She's a runner. So, you know, every meeting she's never able to attend at this time.
Good. Well, then that may be helpful to have my presence on the meeting and then kind of come back and share what we've talked about and kind of help solidify the pattern and the procedures that we're going to have in place for sharing the word and, you know, getting everybody out on Twitter, what our hashtags are, and all those other things.
That sounds awesome. I'll do an email intro. Thank you for that. Yeah, because we're needing to really crank things up.
Yes. Yes.
Crank things up. And now that we have, the other thing I managed to do is to get all of the links on the website for people to pay online.
Good.
So there has been a couple of questions with regards to people paying for the event. Main question being, do we charge speakers to participate? Should they pay the fee?
Right, right. You know, I think it would be helpful if they did, but I think that's a question we do have to have answered so that we have our policy straight now and going forward. And what have they done in other countries? So
in The Hague, if you have put up your hands to speak, because you're speaking for free,
right,
coming there for, you know, to participate, we didn't pay.
Right. Okay.
We didn't pay, but my worry now is we don't have a lot of sponsors.
Right.
We need to feed people, and we are asking for a minimum just so that we can cover the lunches, teas, and coffees.
Right. And I think even if we say, I think then when we ask, we are asking or requesting because it's not that high a fee. I understand. I mean, I agree with you. It's nice to be able to comp all the speakers. However, maybe we could say it's voluntary. Will you please pay? So at least we have an opportunity. So we either make it mandatory or we do ask. We do request speakers this year as we establish everything to pay.
Yeah, I think if people kind of understand, you know, where we're at, we're new, we don't have a lot of sponsors. We've put an event in like 3 months, literally. I mean, it was February, March, April, May. Yeah, we had literally 3 months to do this.
Right.
So in a way, they're supporting it so that it succeeds.
Right.
And then next year we can drop the speaker's fee, put up our registration fee, right, but we will have created something that people are aware of.
Right. And I just think we make it clear why the ask, what we're asking, so that people will not be, you know, if they feel like, well, I don't think they should. I think if we make the reason for the ask very clear, I think people will be understanding.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to put together a welcome video. So we have another lady who joined the group. I see Jessica is on the call now. Jessica, hi.
Hello. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
I've been listening about the speaker's fee.
Yes. So Jonna is a friend of Jessica's, and Jonna joined us last week. Last week, Cynthia, we managed to find a venue where I think we will meet every Wednesday at 12 noon going forwards
Okay.
for the group in Albuquerque, just so we can talk, we can connect, we can discuss issues face to face. And
Good.
It's on Wednesdays, right?
we're going to do it on Wednesday. And Wednesday this week, we are going to meet at the university, at the venue where we're having the event. At Mesa.
Excellent.
From 12:30 probably to about 2. One of the things we need to assess this week is whether or not our where we're going to set up the booths, the stalls. We're going to try and sell booth space, Cynthia, because you weren't there,
Okay.
so that people can come and have tables where they can sell merchandise.
Excellent.
I think that will help us again raise some money. And in this
Yes.
meeting, we need to decide how much that is going to be, how much we're going to charge.
Okay. Sounds perfect.
So I need suggestions. There were a few suggestions made in the last meeting. If we approach big shops, I think we can ask for more.
Mm-hmm.
Drive down to Santa Fe and just spend the day giving out flyers to business owners who have all things to do with women's products.
Right.
And,
Yes.
yeah, and see how many we could get. If we got 10 tables at, I don't know, $300 a table, we could make a bit of money just from the tables.
Right. I think that's a great idea.
And so one of the things we will do when we go, Jessica, you need to remind me, is to speak to the guy who manages the grounds
Mm-hmm.
and, find out what we need permission-wise to use the front part of the building to put up our stalls.
Good. I think that's a great idea.
Now, I see Kat says, good morning, Kat. Can you hear us? Can you talk? Because if you can hear us, we cannot hear you. Your mic is muted. I can see that you're actually muted. You might want to unmute yourself and say something. No, she still isn't. Let me see if I can unmute her. Kat, can you hear us? Say something.
I am unmuted.
Yeah,
Oh, there.
I just
Okay.
unmuted you.
Okay. I was wondering what was wrong with my computer.
Yeah, so one of the things to look out for when you get on a call, because I know this is your first time.
This is the second, actually.
Oh, it is? Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure. You just always check if you are saying something and we're not responding. I saw you put your message in the chat window. That's when I was aware that you actually...
Oh, I was just making my people aware that I was here. I was mostly listening, so
Okay,
yeah.
so that's good. Welcome. So
Thank
you
you.
heard everything I was saying.
Yes, from the maybe requesting speakers pay and the Wednesday meeting at the venues and stuff. Yes.
And I need all of you guys to go online and please register. I can see most of my committee members aren't registered yet.
I registered as a speaker. Do you know if that went through? And I didn't know if registering a speaker automatically gets you registered. So we need to make that very clear.
Let me see. Yeah, you should be online.
I'm glad you said that because I was just about to make the same point.
Yeah, it didn't make it clear. So I'm not sure where we are and what I need to follow up with. And it was not able to pay to attend or anything yet. So it was a while ago.
The attendance link for where you can pay only went up last week. So that's there.
Okay.
We had a bit of a conflict with, because I was using my PayPal account and PayPal picked up that it was an Indian website. So they ended up telling me to create a page on my website that they could just link people to, and that's now up on the, I might just put that in the chat window for everybody, but it is there now.
Okay, so can you see yet who is registered from our committee to speak or to attend, or what we need to do from here?
Oh, hold on. No, what they're doing is once you register, they then send you an email with the steps of what to do to pay. Yeah, it's not on the website. I've just noticed. So I might just forward that email to you if you don't have it.
Yeah, please, just so I make sure, because I've received emails, but I'm not sure if it's related to what I've already registered and I need to do something additional, or so that it's very clear when we all talk to other people.
Okay, all right, I'll do that. So I can see Jessica's registered, Ellie's registered.
So it says I registered. This is Jessica speaking. It says I registered.
You're registered as a speaker. Your profile is up.
Yes, I did all that, but I did not register specifically for the conference. So that's what we're trying to figure out. What is the main difference?
So what I'm saying is when you registered, you were probably the first to register. And
I did it before they had the link to pay.
Yes, because I've noticed now when someone registers, they're sending another email, and that's the email I'm referring to. I'll send it to all of you.
Okay. And can you see, Gertrude, if Cynthia is registered?
Cynthia.
De Lorenzi.
Oh, no, I don't see your registration. So you went online and you registered?
Yes.
That's interesting. No, you're not registered. I don't see you on the speaker's profile page.
Okay.
Have you received did you receive your confirmation from them that you are accepted as a speaker?
I don't know that I did or didn't. I cannot recall seeing that, so I don't think I did.
I received the email she's talking about, but at the time I didn't do it because they were still having issues with the link to pay. So I was waiting for the link to go up. I did receive that email, and it says, thank you, you have been accepted. And it also tells you the time, the day and the time that you're speaking.
Okay,
and
good.
Then it will also give you exactly what Getchu said, but it's just sending you back to the home page. So it is just sending you back to the home page to go to the links to pay and register.
No,
okay, I will dig in and see what happens.
That's not going to work because I am on the website now, Jessica, unless I'm looking at this wrong. The only place where you can pay is where it says venue, hotel details. Oh, hold on. Maybe it's the conference cost. Let me see. Just go back.
Yeah, that's why I was waiting, because the email sent me, the links in the email was just sending me back to the home webpage to register.
That is so weird because now on the conference cost page, it says what the cost is, but it doesn't say where you pay. So I need to sort this out. So in principle, we agree that we are speakers and it is optional to pay so that we can cover our costs. And I'll do a little introduction video welcoming people. And then I've created a spreadsheet that I sent to Donna, Jessica. When Donna follows up. So Donna has volunteered to welcome the speakers as they register and start liaising with them in case there's anything they need, things they need to be aware of. So I'm going to create a welcome that she can send out when she says hello to them and introduces herself.
Gertrude, if you'll excuse me real quick, let me ask you for a clarification. You just said earlier in part of the conversation, you mentioned that we're going to ask the speakers to pay, and then you just used the word optional. So those are two major differences.
Yeah.
So they,
what Cynthia and I had discussed before you came on the call was that we need to make the speakers aware that they don't have to pay, but it would be great if they could help support
right,
us bringing in revenue.
recuperate costs, yes.
Exactly.
My thought is that you'll end up having some that will, some that won't, and we need to decide too with the VIPs that you're trying to ask, or people who are just coming to speak for that hour, and find out if we're good, because we're going to have to find a rule that fits all, or VIPs don't pay or something of the sorts. But you do also have the price at $99, bring a friend for $1. So if you do really, if we think we're going to get enough people, one way to put it out is charge speakers $50 and just give the explanation we're trying to recuperate costs, etc., for food. But say if you would like to cover a cost of a full conference and sponsor someone because it was bring a friend for $1, then charge them, ask them if they'd be willing to do the $100 fee. That's another idea.
That's not a bad idea at all.
Because I think that, especially with people already doing plane, hotel, even local people even are walking away from their daily source of income to be there. If you want to and you're not sure and you're making it optional, I think it would be nice to just kind of say, due to these issues, it's $50, but we do have the option if you want to sponsor someone. This would be, it's $99, bring a friend for $1, so you could pay the full $100. So then therefore, hopefully by doing that, they might feel like they're doing something good, pay their $50, pay an extra $50, which helps with sponsoring, whether it be one of the students who's coming or another speaker who's not paying. That's a VIP.
Okay.
I don't know what anyone thinks about that idea, but it's just because I think we might have some people that will not pay. So any thoughts, anyone?
No, I agree with
Like, yeah, I think that could be good, having somebody pay $50 to at least cover the base expenses. And then you could say, if you're willing to pay the $99, you will then be helping to sponsor. So it'd be $100, so you pay that extra $1 to sponsor somebody.
Correct.
Okay.
That might be a positive format to get the $100.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so
At least you'll get 50.
Exactly. I'll put that in writing and yeah.
Unless anyone who watches this call later has any objections, I would so move. If anyone else kind of seconds it or goes along with it or votes in favor of it, I would so move we kind of do that option. Then it's kind of a friendly pay, but it's not too costly. They would have to pay $50 in food anyways if they were going out to go find their own food for the day, at least, if not $100 to cover their own cost for food.
Yeah.
So I think it's very reasonable that they should pay the $100 fee, but it might be a nice complimentary alternative.
Okay. All right. No, we'll put that forward. Do we all agree?
Yes.
I do.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. What other issues do we have, or what do we have to report back? Jessica, do you have anything?
I think we need to get stable as well, because pricing is really important right now. And if we're asking people to register or sponsor, we've gone between $200 to $500 for those tables. I think we need to come up with a very firm skeleton on that to figure that out, because we also did talk about possibly having a lower price for local artisans. So that's something that's at hand, because we'll definitely need to put a link up on the website really quick and soon, as we're moving really fast into the month of May.
So what is a sweet spot? What is a reasonable price? You guys will have to guide me with what local people would pay. Because there's going to be a difference between the person who owns the business and an artisan, right? And the difference would be location. We could say our prime areas cost a bit more than the areas where we put tables a bit further away. So help me out here.
Well, I think maybe we have some ideas already that we've been discussing, and maybe we can discuss some more now efficiently. But at the same point, we will be going on Wednesday to actually see the facilities. So I think once we do Wednesday, and if we could take a quick video of the location for the people who are not able to attend in person, then people can kind of see and get a better idea. And once we talk to the gentleman, if we're going to have outdoor spots, then we can kind of come up with $50 outdoors, because it is going to be hot. There will be the sun. So they would have to provide their own tents or their own shade, is what you can tell them, especially their local artisans. They should be able to have the tents, and most of them do go to fairs and have that kind of items available to themselves, or inside air conditioning. And then those can be your larger sponsors at whatever we think is the value.
That sounds reasonable.
I just know you have talked, I know the group has talked about I'm just trying to recall on behalf of the group. I remember $50 to $100 was artisans local, because they will make at least $100, hopefully, but $50 for the first time, because the local artisans may come, they may not pay a registration fee, but they might go in to eat. So you want to cover the cost of the meals and everything at least. So if you're asking if we can figure out what the costs of the meals are, then it would probably be a good idea to do a cost analysis of the meals from the budget committee or whoever's in charge of that, and then try to cover meal costs at least. And then from there, we'll know that we're in a safe zone.
Do we know how big their spaces would be? Do we have an idea at all?
It would be big enough to put a table, I think.
A table?
Yeah.
So I've gone to several before. I can't remember how much they were all, but I have paid maybe about at the garden center, I think it was $40 for a 6x6 or something like that. I can't remember. And then for example, the Wine Fest, which is coming up, that was $450 for, I want to say, a 10x20.
Okay.
That might give you but then the Wine Fest is a 3-day thing, and that's why it's super high priced. But for this, and depending on how big it is, the $100 might not be a bad place to start, not $50.
Okay, so you could start at 100, and this is for the outdoor tables, correct?
Sure. We have to think about a lot of these artisans. They have things that might melt in the outside too, though. We have to think about that. So if they can afford a smaller table in the indoors for the sake of their items, I don't know. But I think most $100 for starters, I think, would be because if you're trying to make some money for this whole deal, $50 I think is pretty cheap. Because the garden center that I went to, that was a 2-day thing, but the hours were very short.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And what we're doing is going to be a really long event for 2 days straight. So I don't think it would be unreasonable to start at $100 for the outside, depending on how big the booth is, of course. But for as big for the amount of space you're talking about, $100 might be reasonable.
Okay.
I think from I agree with you, Kat, on some of the events I've been to. They've actually been more so $500 to $750.
Right.
To have a table. Now, when I say that, though, they provided the table for you, 2 chairs, and premises. For an artisan to come, that's basically a conference fee for somebody. And if they're going to be around and, like I said, eating, and hopefully they make that, they usually, if they go to all these fairs, they do happen to carry their own equipment. I do happen to have my own table,
Right.
items like that. Some
Right.
people who might be traveling, they might just have a blanket and they want to lay their jewelry out.
Right.
I feel bad putting people out in our hot sun,
Right.
but if it's a local native,
Right.
native New Mexican, I don't necessarily mean native like Native American, but a native New Mexican, then they would probably be more likely to already have tents and items of that sort if they actually are an artisan that always does these fairs.
Right.
But we can do $100 fee, and then we can charge them $200 because rental for shade and tables, etc. We would have to look into the cost, but the local artisans might be able to get $100 fee if they're outside. But then if they want shade, chairs, and table, then maybe they would pay the same price almost, or just a little bit under what the people inside would pay. Now, for the higher price people who are paying $500 and going inside, that $100 covers their conference fees, like for food and everything. And then you have $400, of which probably $100 maybe would cover the rental of the table and chairs, one table and two chairs for them.
Right.
And then they're in air condition. So you should be able to make hopefully at least $250 net profit off of them.
Right.
So that might be an option. And like people that are bringing their books, like you said, make sure the percentage is clear. And we would probably end up having to rent tables as well to put their books. So you mentioned that people can ship their books in if they're speakers and they have books to sell.
Yes.
Then we're still going to have to rent tables to lay their books on. So either if you said a percentage, so those percentages, hopefully we'll get enough out of it, or just you can also charge a facility fee, handling fee, just a $25 fee or $50 once we find out how much the tables are to rent, in order to cover costs of the table rentals and, chairs.
And to make a bit of money and have somebody man that
Right.
actual table as well.
Right, because it
Yeah.
will be a volunteer doing it, but that volunteer might be somebody that we're covering the lunch for.
Yes, yes. Okay, I'll look at the other conferences I've done and see the percentages that they charged and average it out. But that's a nice feature for people who are coming in.
As far as on my end, on radio shows, like I said, I was out of town last week for the most part for a cattle show, and then, a cattle event. And then this week is my family's gearing up for our national, international Red Hot Bull Sale this coming weekend. And so we're preparing for 400 people to be here. And I have sponsors and conference kind of setup I got to do for that. So on that and getting a hold of the radio station, I will do my best this week in between everything and clients. But some of the things I know I probably won't be able to really accomplish till Wednesday, Thursday next week.
Okay.
So that being out there, but I am trying to track down one of the owners for the radio station, and then the other owner will be at the event this weekend. So I'll talk to him here at the event about possibly getting us some radio space or time and publicizing it in northern New Mexico. And then I will also I will have people from the universities here, some people with connections to Mexico Highlands, and then definitely there will be a lot of people from New Mexico State University, of which Cynthia I know is very familiar with as well. I'll be talking to those representatives that will be here at the Bull Sale this weekend as well. So hopefully everything goes great. And while I'm there doing cattle business, I could do some Women's Economic Forum business too.
That's great.
Maybe get some sponsors.
Yeah, we need to rustle up our sponsors, ladies. I really need your help on that front.
Were you able to get a sponsor, someone pay on the link on the page, so we can send people there if someone should like to donate money or sponsor a...
Yes, that's now on the page where people can pay. There's a donation button.
Fabulous.
So another potential sponsor relationship that we need to discuss. So the cocktail party at the Canyon Club, we were given a prize. Let me see if I can find it. Rachel has been kind of liaising with all of the venues, etc., for us. and the Canyon Club was an option for us to have our
Can I
cocktail
call you back
party.
for a moment in the vehicle? Okay, we'll be back.
Let me see if I can find the quote. But they came back because we asked if they could subsidize the cost for the cocktail party by, either coming on board as a potential sponsor. They've knocked it down to, they've taken off $2,500 to come in as a bronze member sponsor. I'm just looking for the original quote.
It was 12,000.
So that's now down to 10. So if we have 200 people there, we're paying roughly, how much per person? I was trying to see if it's worth it or if we can do it cheaper somewhere else. So 10,000 divided by 200. That's about $50 a head, and I think that's a lot. What do you guys think? Because they said that they would.
The thing is that for me, I have facilities that we could use. The hardest part is going to be transporting everyone here. So it's like a loss at that late because we'd have to get 200 people. So we'd still have to rent buses or pay the school the buses.
Where are you located at again?
I'm south of Belen.
Okay.
So I do have a space. So it'd be nice out here south in the country, in the valley on a farm. But then we would just have to either cook the food ourselves or get the food catered. And I know a person out of Texas that does do catering, and they're doing some of our stuff here. But it's just more so the transportation would be the cost, because at that point we could get the alcohol ourselves or try to get some alcohol donated and other items. So that's the main thing, is you would have to transport everyone the half hour, 45 minutes south.
So, I'm looking at this quote again, and they have charged us for luncheon banquet food. Appetizers for 250 guests is $1,500. 250 guests is $1,500. So they've given us this estimate based on 250 people. It's still quite high.
It is, but it's not in banquet. When you have to pay banquet with hotels or facilities, $50 a person. That should be a dinner though. $50 a person is a dinner. So that's not including alcohol or wine or anything. That's just a $50 plate is the normal dinner price at a banquet facility.
Well, this is not a dinner. This is just a cocktail. It's finger eats. We're there for 2 hours maximum. Oh, well, let's say 3 hours maximum. If you start at 7 and leave at 9:30, that's what I'm trying to kind of calculate in my head, that it's still a lot of money. It's $40 a head. I had hoped we could bring it as low as maybe $20 a head by 200 people, because I actually think that we won't get that many people on the night before. This is really for us to welcome people when they come into Albuquerque.
Have you talked to the Hyatt if they would be interested in sponsoring it, so then they would because they would be able to make money on bar facilities themselves, and then that's one transportation cost we would have out that we would not be paying the university for buses. And if they would be able to be a price, and just approach them, ask them if they'd be able to be a price. And then therefore we don't have to worry about transportation costs, getting them anywhere. And then we're not really utilizing the hotel for anything else other than hotel rooms because we have the Mesa del Sol. And then we wouldn't have to worry about liquor license or liability issues, insurance for event policies, because otherwise you need to have an event policy pretty much to cover the group. And then since they have their own premises insurance and everything, and just find out what we could get for food costs, because I know you said if we book so many rooms that they would give so much money back. So maybe you can just ask him if we could use that credit towards food and beverage.
Okay, I'm sending a message to Rachel because she's been negotiating with.
It's just an idea.
Yeah, I thought about that as well because I was thinking that, or either we do it at the university. Again, not knowing what the logistics are with liquor and stuff like that. But I'll shoot an email to Rachel and find out if the Hyatt could do it.
Well, we can just, at least we have enough time to shop right now.
Yeah.
So we know that we have a $10,000 price tag on this right now with the Canyon Country Club. If we know that, then if we can get bids from anyone that come in under, we already have one secure place being them. We know we're looking at $50 a head, but the crazy thing is $50 already just went half of your, $50 just went out right there from the registration fee.
Exactly. No, it's not going to work. Okay, I've just shot a message, but let's put our minds on the cocktail party and how else we could do this creatively. Kat and Cynthia, do you have anything you add to that?
No, I'm just kind of listening. I'm not from there, so it's kind of hard for me to kind of envision. Kind of, if you know an area, you kind of go, okay, I know exactly what we should do.
Yeah.
But if one of our sponsors, like the bank or something, would like to host something at their place, sometimes it's a great way to bring in new customers or something.
Oh, that's an idea. The bank. I'll ask the bank. Okay.
Yeah, kind of like have open house and, welcome delegates from, but any of our sponsors who maybe would have need or desire or an opportunity to host something could be a great way to go.
I like that.
I keep thinking of St. Clair Vineyards Winery. They might be able to give us a discounted place, but when we say $250, I don't know that they have enough space at their restaurant locations, which is in Old Town, downtown, not too far from the hotel. You would still bus people just for security and for event policy type issues. But at least they would be close to areas if people should want to go throughout the day to go shopping or something. They're still in the old downtown and they get the vibrance of it. But I will have to make a call into them to see if they even have enough space for $250 because everyone gets into fire code and everything at that point.
Okay. All right. Find out for us.
Yeah, give me through next week to get on that, just because hopefully I will have an update by the Monday meeting, but this week is just chaos. So I just drove in from Texas late last night and made sure I was up for this meeting. So
okay.
That
sounds good.
Any other items? I think the main ones we have are those financial, getting people registered.
Yes. And then
I actually have something I've been wanting to ask you, Gertrude, is how's the volunteer stuff looking?
Volunteers. I have a meeting with the CEO of the Girl Scouts this week.
Oh.
See if we can get some girls to come in. I have a meeting with the African American Affairs Office. They have been currently sponsoring 100 girls from 10 different schools in Albuquerque.
Oh, wow.
So the lady I talked to said, look, you probably could tap into the same group of girls. Then you don't have to run around town trying to get some students in.
Right.
So that was what I've worked on in terms of bringing on board some potential volunteers. I also had a meeting with the UNM hospital.
Uh-huh.
Apparently the nurses need to put in some volunteer time.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't know that.
So I'm just waiting for them to get back to me and tell me what I need to do
Right.
to tap into that. And I did call Kirkland Air Base.
Okay.
I tried to get hold of Carl, the guy that you mentioned.
Yes.
He wasn't in. I left a message for him and he's on my list to follow up this week.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. That's what I've done for volunteers so far.
Okay, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to know. Thank you.
Yeah, that's going to be crucial if we're going to be able to pull things off. We need a lot of hands on board.
Exactly.
Mm.
In regards to the sponsors, I also did make contact with a person who's supposed to put me in contact with the leader of that Hope organization that doTERRA Oil does, that they had suggested to me that they, because we are working with human trafficking and they have that oil that they sell towards assisting anyone who has been in danger or human trafficking. So they should be putting me in contact with the main person for the state in this next week or so.
Okay.
So hopefully we can get some sponsorship from them since it falls in line with their mission as well.
Nice. Oh, and I also managed to pin down a woman who had asked me to ghostwrite a book for her a year ago, based in California. She's something of a celebrity UN ambassador. Her name is Baroness Kimberly Moore, to see if she could be a speaker and help us get goodies for our bags. So I've got a call with her today. She has this nonprofit where she raises money. She's like a modern day Santa Claus. She has a way of getting sponsorship in a really weird way. I went and met her in Hollywood once, and she had a whole warehouse full of stuff that people just give her. So I'm trying to see if Kimberly could either reach out and help us get our goodie bags filled, and if she could come and be a speaker as well.
That's fabulous.
Way. But we still need our celebrity speakers. I'm gonna get back to Ariana Huffington again this week and sit on her and see if she could come and speak.
That would be awesome if she was able to come.
I know. So fingers crossed. I'm gonna chase up on that one.
You know, I was thinking too, we should look for published authors, especially women authors who live in Albuquerque or the New Mexico area, who may have some books, and they may want to be a sponsor or have a table or something to sell their books.
So how could we find them? There must be some clubs.
Start everything with a Google search, you know, Albuquerque authors.
How about,
yeah, and maybe women's clubs. Yeah, and ask people.
Gertrude, you're a member of the Albuquerque Press Club. Maybe that might be one of those networks on that end.
Okay, make a note of that. Yep, the Press Club does have I'll ask the guy who manages it. So,
The
Albuquerque.
other question I have, because I don't know how quick we are to getting off of this, and we're almost on the hour, is Grenada. And I know not everyone from Albuquerque is working on Grenada, but I just didn't want to get off the call without finding out when are we going to start. Are all the links up for that? Because the hotel was not.
Yeah, the hotel, Rachel sent me a message last week. We're just waiting on a contract to sign the contract with them.
Okay.
But the Radisson Hotel is the hotel that we'll be using. And that was recommended by the Ministry of Culture.
And it's, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I just didn't know, I have my connections in Grenada will probably be ready next week to start assisting and do things as well, because they had that dentist going out for 2 or 3 weeks. And I think it's next week that they're free up. and they've worked with many of the ministries as well. So I just wanted to make sure so that when I reach out to them this weekend, her brother will be here at this bull sale as well. And they go to Grenada all the time to visit. I wanted to kind of have some information so that since I will be seeing people that have contacts there as well this weekend, that I can have some information for them before I got off this call.
Okay, well, I'm coming to the bull sale.
Yes, you are. Yay!
I will see you on Wednesday when we do the lesson, so we can pick this up then. And if any of you guys, Kat or Cynthia, would like to get involved in the planning for Grenada, I'm going to have to create another group for that.
Happy to help. Happy to help. I don't think I can make it this year because I'm expecting my first grandchild, but would be happy to help.
That's fantastic. Well, congratulations.
Oh, I am one of those people who never thought they'd have grandchildren, so I'm nuts. I'm driving my daughter crazy.
Oh my God, that is just beautiful.
I know. And I've told everybody I know, look, it may be a good idea just to unfriend me on Facebook.
You're allowed to go a little bit goo goo gaga. You're forgiven.
Get you to my notes on the drums. Have you heard anything more on the drums?
Yes, I now have prices on the drums, and we need to make a decision whether we want to put a bit of a markup. I will forward the drum information to everyone.
I would vote yes to the markup, even though I know I'm going to be buying a drum.
Yeah, I think
because we need to cover costs.
Stream for us because they've given us a really good price. There's 4 or 5 sizes, and I would encourage people to. We'll say we're selling, 10 of this size, 10 of that size, so that not everybody buys the small ones, for example. Because we need to get the different sounds. We need to get the different size drums.
Well, maybe an idea is the higher markup would be if you want to do a graduated scale on markup, do a higher markup on the smaller drums and a lesser markup on the large drums. I don't know the prices on the drums, but I know we're going to need to make money back. Otherwise, we're going to be in the negative.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the drums are ready. We've negotiated the price. They just need us to order in advance to get them ready on time.
Do you have a range in your head that you remember what they were for the drums cost?
I can tell you now. Hold on. Drums. Okay, so it's 8-inch, 12-inch, 14, 16, and 22. The 8-inch is $28. 10-inch is $32. Actually, I'll just copy and paste this in the chat window. I'll say it out loud for people who are listening. 12-inch is $36. 14-inch is $44. 16-inch is $49. And 22-inch is $68. So these are the prices. And I'll share some of the pictures as well. They have a butterfly on the front.
Sorry.
They are exquisite drums. Sorry about this. I'm just trying to save the images so I can put them on the chat window. So I was thinking if we were to do a 25% markup, then we could make some money on the drums. How do you attach photos to the chat? I might just share the images of the drums on the group's chat on Facebook. Cynthia, are you in the group now?
I am. It looks like I made it.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'll share the image of the drums there, and I will put up the markup price So these are the wholesale prices. And they're not too badly priced. 28 plus 25%. The 28 goes to 35.
I was just going to say, I kind of did a pencil out, and I was kind of thinking if we do 35, 40, 50, 55.
The thing is, you have to take into account the size. It's best just to apply a blanket percentage.
Mhm.
Otherwise, 32.
That comes out to 61.25. The only thing, are people going to be paying cash? They're going to pre-order, right? So you have the link online.
Yeah, the link will be online.
So then the change does not matter.
Yeah. Yeah, people have to pre-order. And this is a great way to be able to participate in the grand finale. Okay, so I'm going to put these and the images on Facebook. I have to put them on the website, so that page needs to go up. But I think this is going to be fun.
61.25 would be the largest drum. I think that's within a range if you were to go buy something from an artisan. I mean, I have not seen them quite yet still, but so I don't know from other things, but you go to Santa Fe or you go to downtown Albuquerque and you can find, I'm sure everyone's kind of looked at a drum at some point. That's still a reasonable price, goes to a good cause.
Yeah. I think 25% is not a huge ask on our markup. 68. The 85 would be the biggest one. So I'm going to put all of this on a page, and then people can start pre-ordering. So it's 8 o'clock. Is there anything else, ladies?
Lots of good stuff.
Yeah, we're going to get there. I need to lock in these 100 girls and then find sponsorship for their meals, the 100 volunteers. Yes, it's going to be fun.
So sponsors right now is our hugest thing, and the cocktail place are the two main large things that we need to get done besides the getting people to register online or getting the internet to work correctly so that we can start getting donations and people to work online.
Yeah, so the cocktail place, like I said, I'm thinking worst comes to the worst, we do it at the university. We'll talk to the Hyatt as the two alternative options.
And the only other thing is we talked about is probably we need somebody to, I'm working on the mentorship papers, but somebody to write up a criteria for the unsung heroes. So we can start putting that out for nominations, because we really do not have but a month, a month and a half away, it's going to fly.
Okay.
Because we need to get those names into India for the plaques as well, you said.
Yes.
Which I'm not sure if we have to purchase the plaques, so we still need a sponsor for awards.
They provide the plaques. We just have to give them the names. So I'll find out the numbers and the different categories from India. And yeah, we can start looking for names.
Right.
The other speaker that I approached who I thought could help us is LaDonna Harris, is a Native American Indian woman who was responsible for changing legislation here in New Mexico for the Native American communities. And unfortunately, her PA got back to me, said that she charges $2,500 to speak.
Whoa.
So that's kind of canceled her out, and she's the woman who's Johnny Depp's mother.
Wow. I'd say pass on that this year.
What's that?
I would pass on it this year.
Yeah, no, we can't afford it anyway. And I think it was just her polite way of saying, hey, I'm overwhelmed. I can't take on anything else.
Which is understandable.
Yeah. There was
Yes, the United Nations is doing a ton of work on behalf of women globally. And we may have some resources that either somebody would be willing to come in and speak from the United Nations, or have people who are working here with the Indian community or other communities close by.
Yeah, so let's put it out there.
I will work on somebody else who has connections in that I just remembered I need to call then.
I also got a very interesting email from a woman who has a radio show called The Well Woman Show. And she sounds like she's got a massive women's network as well here in New Mexico. Genevieve Rossi is her name. Genevieve Rossi. Yeah, so I'm hoping to meet her this week and see if I can get on her radio show, and she's happy to help market and promote as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So if there's anything else, fire emails at me, guys. Otherwise, go out there. Please, please, please find sponsors. We need more sponsors. We need sponsors.
We will put it out there. I'll get in touch with Joni and see what we can do through social media, start reaching out to people.
Okay, so do you have Joni's contact details, or do you want me to?
No, you're an introduction to us, so she can then. I mean, I don't want to step on her toes until we've spoken and she knows, I understand her ideas and stuff.
Okay, so Cynthia.
Perfect. Because I once you all create like one of those ads or something that we can all just share, I'm more than happy to put that one on through social media for the conference and for Grenada.
Oh yeah, I want to be. I don't know how much I can do, but put me on the list for the Grenada project.
Fantastic. Thanks, Kat. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for being on the
Have a great day, everybody.
You guys too.
Yeah, happy Monday.
Enjoy your day.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.